Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, reporting to you from a pistachio orchard in Fresno. I'm here with Richard Matoian, Executive Director of American Pistachio Growers. I want to talk about the progress of the 2020 pistachio crop. Obviously, there's been a lot going on in California with the COVID-19, and now we've got these fires, and it just doesn't seem like we ever get a break here. But the crop seems to be coming in pretty good, right? What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we're just probably over halfway through the 2020 harvest. Some of the early varieties, Golden Hills and Lost Hills, are completed, and now completed our first shake of the Kerman variety, which is still the predominant variety in the industry. The reports that I'm getting is that the nut size all the way across the board is larger than what it's been for the last number of years. So that's a real positive to have large size nuts, which are very desirable in the marketplace. I'm also hearing that as a result of the large nut size, total poundage appears to be heavier than what was originally expected. So that's a real positive. I'm hearing that insect nut damage is well below 1%, which is incredibly important for the pistachio industry to have low navel orange worm damage because of the effect that it could potentially have in sorting and in the marketplace as far as that goes. So things look incredibly positive right now for our industry in terms of the harvest. And it looks like harvest will continue on through at least through the middle, if not the end of October.
And then just as a clarification regarding the wildfires, is there any kind of impact that they might be having, or more so the smoke in the area, the air quality could be having on harvest as far as the workers and getting out there and harvesting the crop?
Yeah, there has been a definite effect. With the intense amount of smoke that we've had in the air, there's been less solar radiation, so the trees have been a little bit delayed in maturing the fruit. And so when growers thought they were going to originally harvest, that harvest date had to be pushed back because the fruit wasn't ready. I'm also hearing that, particularly on the Kerman variety, some of the nuts are not coming off the tree, which it can be an issue if they're not shaking off the tree. So they will definitely have to go in for a second shake, and we hope that with that second shake that they'll be able to get the remainder of the nuts off the tree. And we've had this situation in past years where the nuts can stick on the tree and not come off, whether that's a result of the smoke and the lack of solar radiation, or whether it's just a kind of a natural phenomena. I have to believe it's related to the smoke, but definitely the smoke has had an effect on our ability to harvest.
Right, and looking at what the original forecast was, if you could remind us what that was and what we think, are we going to match that, from what it's looking like, or where do you think it stands?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the year, we thought we would be well above 1 billion pounds, and this would be our first 1 billion pound crop in our history. But as we started to get into the spring and see the effects of lack of chill hours and adverse weather conditions during pollination, that number was slightly revised lower to below 1 billion pounds. Now, as we see product coming off the trees and there being larger sized nuts, growers and processors are more optimistic, and so the number appears to be trending closer to 1 billion pounds. But as we say in pistachios, we won't know what the size of the crop is until we get it all in, because again, once you look at the number of nuts on the tree, that's not always the indicator of what's going to come off or whether or not those nuts have actually been filled with viable edible nuts. But what we're seeing now, it appears to be that we're going to be closer to 1 billion pounds with our number, which would be a record for our industry.
That'd be quite a milestone.
It sure would be.
Long be looking for.
Yeah, we've been predicting that we would hit 1 billion pounds since 2014. This is based upon all the acres that have been put into the ground and the average production that comes off the trees. So, if everything continues the way that it's going, we will hit that milestone.
Great. Well, thank you, Richard. Wanted to touch base real quick on the coronavirus food assistance program. Mm-hmm. If you could just let us know a little bit of what the recent announcement of round 2 of funding means for pistachio growers in particular. If you could.
Yeah, just recently, USDA announced the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, or CFAP 2.0, and the sign-up period just began September 21st, and it will go through December 21st of this year. And unlike past programs where they've based it upon certain calculations, cents per pound or dollars per acre, they're doing a new approach for specialty crops, which includes pistachios. So it's based upon sales price. So growers would be looking at what they received in terms of sales in 2019. It's multiplied by a particular sliding scale, and then a calculation is made. So it looks to be of the programs that have been out there previously, this looks to be a very positive program for specialty crops, particularly pistachios, that they're basing it upon the sales in a given year. And this will be sales that were done in 2019. One of the provisions in there is if growers did not produce a crop in 2019, if they had non-bearing acres, then it would be based upon what they produced in 2020. So it does take into account for those growers in that particular situation. So it's a very positive program for our industry, and we're very, very pleased with it. And USDA and the Trump administration has done the industry right by this particular program to assist our growers as a result of the coronavirus.
A lot of growers, we're not looking for a handout, but, the money's on the table. Why not take advantage of it here? This is a great opportunity for us in the difficult times. And I'm sure if you'd be willing to answer other questions if they call your office later on, if they have any.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been getting a lot of calls from growers about how to fill out the forms and exactly what the process is. We've put together a really good document regarding that and sent it out to our membership to help them through the process. Regarding coronavirus, what we've seen in terms of shipments is that domestic shipments for the crop year that just ended August 31st is that we've shipped domestically the second largest amount of shipments in the domestic market. But when we look to the export market, that's where we see where the effects of coronavirus and competition have had an effect. We're down in the export market. And so this will definitely help growers who have been affected by that situation, definitely in the export market situation.
Great. Well, thank you for the update, and stay tuned because coming up later in November, our Grape, Nut, and Tree Fruit Expo, which will now be held virtually due to the COVID-19 restrictions. But we are excited to once again have Richard Matoian give the annual State of the Pistachio Industry address, as well as some Farm Service Agency representatives to address growers if they have any other further questions at the expo. So be sure to visit agexpo.biz for more information on that. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.